Have you ever felt like something in your life suddenly shifted and you started seeing yourself or the world in a different way? You might be going through a spiritual awakening, but the thing is, it's not always a clear path. In the next few minutes, I'll help you figure out what stage of spiritual awakening you're in. Each of our journeys is unique and kind of designed for us. Some people are at a certain stage, others may skip some, and everyone's path is different. But there are some common stages that most of us go through. I want to share them in a more practical, simpler way so you can see where you are on your journey. When we go through a big change in our life, it's like an invitation to wake up and become more aware of who we really are. But many people don't take that chance. It's easy to ignore the call when it feels uncomfortable or challenges what we believe, who we think we are, or our relationship. I know it was hard for me too. It takes courage to step into the unknown and face who you think you are. But you have to trust the process and say yes, even when things aren't clear. I think in the early stages, most of us are really attached to our ego, the part of us that's shaped by our thoughts, our emotions, and what's happening around us. We tend to react to life instead of creating it. We don't realize how much our belief and past experiences are affecting us. We think we are our ego, and the ego always feels like it has something to prove. And this can make us defensive, angry, and negative. We see life as something happening to us, not something we create. During this stage, it's also hard to see others clearly because our views are shaped by our own biases and past experience. As we move forward, we begin to realize that we're not just our ego or our body. We are souls. We are the soul within. We start to care less about things like gender, race, or belief systems, and those labels begin to fade away. This is a shift in how we see ourselves. We start to understand that the story that we've been telling ourselves about who we are isn't true. This can also feel, what's the word, unsettling, because we're so attached to these identities. But this discomfort is where growth happens. Growth might feel uncomfortable, but it also opens up space for new understanding of who we really are. This is a stage where we let go of the false idea of who we thought we were. And we start realizing we are more than just our thoughts and feelings. We are more than what we were conditioned to believe. After that, it's like a light turns on. We start searching for answers to the big questions. Who am I then? If what I thought or who I thought I was, if I'm not that, then who am I? That's one of the first questions. I think that's one of the biggest questions. Why am I here? What's the purpose of life? Some of us find answers in books, spiritual teachers, or practices like meditation or prayer. Is it prior or prior? I can't say that word. Anyway, it's not about philosophy or religion. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's more about a deep, heartfelt search to understand the truth of who we are. We're no longer happy with simple answers. We want to explore more deeply. There's a pull to inquire more deeply about those big questions. And at this stage, it's important to be careful and let the universe guide us to where we need to be. In my own experience, I was raised with certain beliefs that were deeply instilled in me. And when things started to change for me, it really shook me because I thought those beliefs were true. You have to trust the process, but also trust yourself. I think what the universe did around that time was separate me. There's a stage also, which I'll probably do another video on that stage, where you're separated. And the universe had to separate me in order for me to be still, in order for me to be silenced. The noise, the influences, the universe had to separate me from all of that for me to discover who I truly am. You have to trust the process, but also trust yourself. You can't trust the process without trusting your own instincts. As we keep searching and asking questions, we start to let go of old beliefs and habits we've built, which includes addictive behaviors. We begin to drop the mask we've been wearing, and it gets harder to pretend to be someone we're not. Your true self starts to shine through who you are authentically, and you become a more sensitive person. If something doesn't feel right, it becomes uncomfortable because you're waking up after living a certain way for so long. This part can be tough, to say the least. It might mean letting go of old relationship, jobs, or lifestyles that no longer fit who you are. There's a strong pull to live in a way that reflects your true, authentic self. As you discover who you really are, you also begin to heal old wounds and let go of what no longer serves you. You start to trust that inner wisdom and become more authentic, not trying to be someone you're not to be accepted in society. And then after that, everything starts falling into place with who you truly are. You feel more balanced, at peace, and your actions, your relationships and connections to the world around you start to align with your true self. You begin to accept all parts of yourself, your strengths, your imperfection. That's what self-love is all about. But remember, we're never fully there. I have to say this. We're never fully there. It's a continuous journey, and the ego can sneak back in at any time. It happens if we're not present. For me, awakening is not a one-time event. It's not the same for everyone. For me, it's an ongoing journey. You begin to feel more compassion and understand that everyone is on their own path. Your connection to nature and the world grows in a unique way. You start to see how everything is connected. Life still brings challenges, but you start to accept them as a part of the human experience. So remember, it doesn't have to happen in any specific order, but what really matters is that we embrace it. The journey is what counts, and we have to be willing to accept every part of it. If this speaks to you, feel free to share what stage you're in on your journey in the comments below. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.